What's up, everybody, man? It's your host, 𝐥𝐤𝐞, and I'd like to take the time to bring you on back into the experience, the Black Cat Panther podcast experience, man. Welcome to the channel. Before we do anything, make sure you comment, like, subscribe to the channel, show that love, and hit those like buttons because that'll get us right into the algorithm. So whatever you're doing right now, make sure you hit the like button on the video. Without further ado, you already know it. The Carolina Panthers are building a team to go forward, and we are also in search of a quarterback sitting atop the draft at number 1. With that being said, we must go ahead and make a choice of who we plan to redesign this whole thing, this entire facelift that we have on this franchise. We must redesign it. And it looks to the naked eye, potentially, can the Panthers be building for Anthony Richardson? I know I ruffled some feathers saying that. So we all know coming on in, Stroud is the consensus number 1 overall pick. He's the guy that we all want. He's the guy that everyone needs. He is the breath of fresh air that's here. Bryce Young is also the smaller guy, the 5-foot frame, the 170-pound quarterback that's electric, that they deem the next Patrick Mahomes. But because of his size, he's being looked at as, I'd have to say, he's being looked at as an afterthought because of his size mostly. So with that being said, when it comes down to the Carolina Panthers picking potentially a quarterback, there's only really 2 real good options, and that's pretty much your boy AR-15 and CJ Stroud. But the thing is do you want one guy that's going to be built to win right now, or do you want one guy that can be built to win you Super Bowl championships for the future? And one guy, which is CJ Stroud, is the win now guy. He does everything right. He shows up. He has the arm strength. He has the intangibles to really, make every single throw and make everybody around him better. But then you have Anthony Richardson, where you look, he is screaming and oozing with athleticism. Like the 6'5" guy out-jumps, outruns a 4.43. And I mean, he is dominant in what he does. But when you look at it, you said, okay, if the Panthers are sitting at number 1, would it make sense for them to, 1, pull the trigger on him at number 1, Anthony Richardson, that is? And will he start day 1? So if you go about pulling the plug on this guy, what is the actual plan that will be put in place for a guy like Anthony Richardson? I'm glad you asked. So if we were to strategically put this thing into, the Carolina Panthers have every coach known to man on this roster that's built to really go out there and advise anybody. You got the McCowns of the world, which is the quarterback's coach. Eventually, he's going to be the OC when Thomas Brown moves up. Look, you got the experience on all sides of the football. Well, like I said, Evero and those guys over there really taking it to this defense. You got the Deuce, the big Deuce over there, the assistant coach. Like I said, offensively, this team will be a force to be reckoned with. And Frank Wright has really been steering this thing from the top to the bottom because, like I said, we all know him to be a quarterback whisperer. We all know that he has the intangibles to get the most out of any quarterback. So if you get a guy like him and then you go out in free agency and you make a splash by basically letting go Sam Darnold and the crew that was here, and you bring in Andy Dalton and you pair Josh McCown with that, that's a lot of wisdom around for a young quarterback. Now, you said that Anthony Richardson is that guy that struggles with certain things about being ready, about defenses that you want him to know. Well, if you lay forth the plan would be to potentially put Andy Dalton out there in the first couple of weeks because you're letting him know that he was signed to be a mentor for your young guy until your young guy is ready. Now, a lot of people like to think that AR-15 is like a 2-year project. No, sir, that's not it. After looking at him, after you've seen him, his season was over in Florida, you've seen the maturation process of what he looked like in the combine, you see how far he's come, how he's taught himself on the fly. This guy is a ready now quarterback. He just needs to make sure that he has somebody to be able to steer him in the right direction when it comes to knowing what he's seen on the field with the defenses, and also making sure that he can fully reign and operate this entire offense. So with that being said, you allow Andy Dalton to go out in front, show this guy, okay, this is how a quarterback should function and operate inside this offense. This is what you should look at. This is what you should look at with the safeties. This is what you should look at when you see it on the field. Teach him every step of the way. And I'd say you put in a plan by at least week 4, week 5, whenever the bye is, you go ahead and you put your guy out there. AR-15 is the eventual future. And then, like I said, you start off and let Andy Dalton pave the way for your young rookie. This is how, one, you just don't throw him into the fire. You allow him to mature, and piece by piece, week by week, you program him to do the right things for your franchise. Then you get to see the real AR-15 once he's comfortable, because he has the size, the strength, the athleticism, the intangibles to be able to make all the throws. And you went on and you just got him a Pro Bowl running back. Yes, Miles Sanders is a Pro Bowl running back. You just went out and got him Hayden Hurst at tight end. Yes, this is a vertical tight end that can stretch the field. Now he's just missing a number 1 and a number 2 receiver, but we project that that's going to be made in the draft. That's going to be picked in the draft for us, man, because Terrence Marshall Jr. is a guy that you can look forward to. Mr. Plastic will be there, as well as Shi Smith and the crew, but you need upgrades that'll be able to get open X and Y receivers that can be schemed all over this field for Anthony Richardson. And I'm telling you, it is a match made in heaven if you do it this correct way, because the thing is, the one thing about AR that stands out more than anything is his maturity and his ability to adapt. And you have a quarterback that has shown you on multiple stands that no matter what he's been thrown into, he can adapt as he goes. Like I said, in Florida, he was in positions where he had to capitalize, show you 2 touchdowns here, 0 interceptions. He told you different times where he could go out there and throw multiple touchdowns and, maybe 1 interception or so. But the learning curve was he was potentially learning how to be a quarterback in Florida. That's why some of his tape wasn't the most impressive. But what it is after this is the maturation process with him that is so impressive, and how far it seems he has come as a quarterback. And then you just can't lie and say that physically, as a 6'5" specimen, you see this guy. I mean, he is a freak of nature when you look at him, and he is everything that you would want as far as intangibles in a quarterback. So the upside for this guy is supremely high, because think about it. If the Carolina Panthers gave Cam Newton, a receiver, in the first year that they drafted him, a tight end that they drafted young along with him, then imagine how different. If they would have gave him an offensive line and a running back, all that in his first year, imagine how different that this team could have been. But instead, he came into a process where he had an aging receiver at Steve Smith that was 33, I believe, at the time, which that was his only target. Greg Olsen had to grow into that target. And we had a Jeremy Shockey that, like I said, under 𝐥𝐤𝐬 in that first year, which the 2 tight end set was the best thing that we had going other than Steve Smith. And thank God for Stewart being able to run that ball. But we haven't seen heights of that offense since then, because 𝐥𝐤𝐬 went to the Browns, and we had Turner and the crew. I mean, they came in there, and we haven't really seen anything since. I mean, Shula was there, but Shula's offense was not as diverse and not as intricate as what we saw from 𝐥𝐤𝐬. I mean, that's really the height of the Carolina football that we've seen when Cam Newton came out as a passer and threw for 4,000 yards on a dual tight end set. You could have something similar to that here with Anthony Richardson. But like I'm saying, it has to be imprinted. Like, this is what I was saying. If you gave Anthony Richardson everything that you did not give Cam Newton, this boy could succeed. And Cam Newton won MVPs and he went to a Super Bowl. So imagine if you gave that type of talent actual weapons on the field and an actual coach that could really put him in positions to win. Because make no mistake about it, Ron Rivera was strapped offensively. He was a defensive-minded coach that didn't really understand situations and game situations. That's why he ended up getting the name Riverboat Ron. But he grew to become a good coach because he had a lot of different good pieces around him. So with that being said, the question is, are the Panthers building for AR-15? I just laid it out that this team right here can function with Anthony Richardson at helm, and it would be a very good functioning team going forward. I just want to know, is this something that the Panther fans can get behind? Can you support this guy if this were to happen? Would this be a surprise to anybody if we were to take him number 1 overall? I'm not sitting here saying that CJ Stroud isn't the right choice. He's clearly the best quarterback option, but I'm saying that there's a right now option and there's a long-term option. I like both of them. I just want to know which one is going to satisfy the Panther fans. That's what this video is all about. So if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you like the video and get us in the algorithm. Look, your boy 𝐥𝐤𝐞 has some more. If this ruffled your fellas, I have some more. I have some surprises on the way too as well. So make sure you come on back to Black Cat Panther Podcast, where we're going to keep you thinking.